Well, good morning. Welcome to Thoughts That Can Change Your Life with me, Reverend Lee Wallach. I am the founding and senior minister of the Agape Center for Spiritual Living here in Frisco, Texas. That's outside of Dallas, for those of you that don't know. I keep forgetting that there are a lot of people that have no clue that Frisco even exists. Well, Friscoans think they exist. They think they're the most important people in the world, just like everybody thinks where they are is the most important. But anyway, I'm here to talk about ideas. I'm not here to question. I'm here to bring up things that make you look at life a little bit differently. And today, I'm all about change. I'm all about the fact that we have the ability to change in any moment. We can change our lives with one thought, with one direction, immediately have an impact on our life. And yet at the same time, many people don't make any changes. They're afraid to make changes. They're too comfortable with what is. What's really interesting is that, I had to make a change last night, a big change. I found out that in the last 4 days, I was exposed to someone who had COVID-19. Well, guess what? If I follow the protocol and I am a spiritual leader of a community, I can't be at service on Sunday. Can't. It's impossible, because that would be violating what a lot of people view as a safe protocol. And so what I did last night is canceled it all. Told the people that I've been around, hey, I was exposed to it. I don't have it, at least that I don't believe I have it at all. I feel fine, but I had to change everything for Sunday. And I did it all within an hour. Called all the people necessary, made all of the arrangements, hotel, musicians, to live stream differently in that. So we'll be live streaming, regular time, 10:30, but we'll be doing it from a studio. So you got to change. And guess what? When you change, you can't look back and say, oh, damn, I wish that wouldn't have happened. How does that serve? It doesn't serve at all, folks. So the world today is presenting us with more and more opportunities to change. You can see it everywhere. I was meeting with my group in Europe yesterday afternoon, and my European group is talking to me like, one of my gentlemen in Wales is saying, hey, we're in lockdown. We can't do anything. For the next 3 weeks, we're in lockdown. Then in another place, we're going into lockdown December 28th. Can't do anything. So it's interesting. And so what I've discovered is, okay, if we have this time, how can we use that time to change ourselves? How can we get deeper into a spiritual practice? How can we make changes in our life? Here's one change I want to ask you all to do. Bring Wim Hof breathing technique into your life. I'm so convinced that the benefits of deep breathing and oxygenating your body will have an impact on your health and your, not only physically, but your mental health as well. So I'm pushing that. I'm pushing it. Why? Because it works for me. I'm doing it all the time. I do 5 rounds with my wife first thing in the morning, and then in the afternoon, I do another 5 rounds. I don't talk about anything that I haven't done for myself and found results. I can't say it any differently. Everything I do, I have found reasons that it benefits. And what I'm asking you to do is not to believe me. Do you hear that? Those people who have been around me know, don't believe me, but test it out. Find it out. Prove it for yourself. So if you want to do Wim Hof, I would highly suggest go to YouTube, do Wim, W-I-M-H-O-F, and do the one that's exactly 11 minutes. 11 minutes. You got 11 minutes in your day? Here's what I know. Here's what I know, that if something is important to you, you will find the time. If it's not important to you, you will not find the time. Mark that down as a great thing to remember for the rest of your life. Right there. If you find time for something, it's because it's important to you. If you can't find time for something, it's not important to you. Now, let's expand that a little bit. If you have a partner, and they can't find time to do something you've asked for, guess what? It's important to you. It's not important to them. Oh, Lee, that's sneaky how you do that. John says, I've been doing the breathing for the past week or so, still deciding if I can see the benefits. Here's what I'm going to tell you, John. Do it every day for 2 weeks. Every day for 2 weeks. And then stop for a day. and see how you feel. But build the habit of oxygenating and then stop and test it. I know I felt a tremendous difference. Maybe you won't. I don't know. You may be different than me. But here's what I do know is that we tend to be shallow breathers in the United States, maybe in the rest of the world too. But this gets you to open up that breathing. And when you get that oxygen, science will tell you an oxygenated body heals itself fast. An oxygenated body, cancer cannot exist. And most of the time, if we're shallow breathing, we're not oxygenated. So back onto that. I was talking about change, wasn't I? What is it in your life that you're afraid to change, and yet you know you should? Then once you decide what that is, ask the question, how am I benefiting, or what is the benefit I perceive I am getting from not changing? Because here's a key thing. There will be people out there in abusive relationships that are not going to make a change. They're going to stay in the abusive relationship. Do you know why? Because they perceive more benefits staying in the relationship than leaving the relationship. They will leave the relationship when they see that it's more benefits to leaving than staying. I hate to say that, but that's exactly it. We will do whatever we feel is most benefiting us. So if we're going to make a change, we have to be able to look at the change and we have to stack up the benefits so that we understand that making that change, there are more benefits to us than staying where we are. Is that making sense, gang? I know, God, I've got so many great people. I got Chip in Utah, John's out there, Kim's out there, Tanisha's out there, Kathy's out there, Quentin's out there, Rodney's out there. I've got John, Becca, Angelica, and Zoe. Oh my God, I'm so grateful that you're taking the time to check in. Let me know you're there. You know what I know is that this, for me, is like one of my favorite things in the world, talking to you. It's one of my favorite things in the world, talking to you. So what I want you to know is that if you want to connect, and Zach's out there, he was having this conversation with himself last night about a toxic habit that he's having trouble to letting go. So here's what I'm going to say, Zach. Ask the question. How is it benefiting you? How is it benefiting you holding on? Sandra Lynn says she's in pain. Question I asked Sandra Lynn, what are you holding on to? Because the pain comes to let you know it's time to let go of something. And until you let go, the pain will continue to increase, because pain is a way of telling you that something needs to change in your life. I'll give you a physical example of that. August 1st, fell down, shattered my hip. Wasn't old age. I just shattered my hip. I took a hit like I've never taken when I fell down on the concrete. And let me tell you, I was in pain. I didn't even realize I shattered my hip for 2.5 weeks. Then I had to wait another 2 weeks to have the surgery. Had a hip replacement surgery. Guess what? I was still in pain. I was 11.5 weeks in, and I was still in pain. And I went to the doctor and said, Doc, this ain't right. The pain shouldn't be there. And I said, what I believe is you forgot, or my leg is not the same length as it was before. And that's causing me the pain. And he went and checked, and sure enough, it is. It was. So I had to change, right? So I said, what would you do? You're 45. You're going to live another 60 years. What would you do? He says, well, you're not 45. You're 69. I said, that has no bearing on it. I'm planning on living another 60 plus years. He looked at me and I said, so if you planned on living another 60 plus years, what would you do? He says, I'd have the surgery. So what would you do in that surgery? Oh, I'd pop off the ball. I'd put an extender on, pop in a new ball, extend that leg 3/8 of an inch. Your leg would be perfect and you'll be fine. I said, we do it. So that's what I did 3.5 weeks ago. Guess what? The second I got home, I've not taken a pain pill. The pain is gone. The pain before was telling me I needed to do something or I was going to stay in pain. I listened. I'm asking you to listen. Sandra Lynn jumped off her bike and separated a rib. Sandra Lynn, rib separations are painful. It hurts to breathe. It hurts to move. It hurts to do everything. I've done that. So, my dear woman, it's time for you to learn to be still. Time for you to embrace more spiritual practice. I would highly suggest you do the deep breathing and you breathe into your rib. Visualize yourself breathing into that rib. So wherever you have problems in your body, pain in your body, discomfort in your body, breathe into it. So if you're doing the deep breathing with Wim Hof, every breath you take, you breathe into that area where you've got a problem. That oxygen, because you're consciously focusing it, will go there and it will cause the healing to be faster. Sandra Lynn, all you can do is prove me right or prove me wrong, but it's your choice and you get to choose whether you change or not. So I love this topic of change because guess what, folks? It's the one constant in life, and you can rest assured it's going to change and change and change and change. And it's never going to stop changing. And right now, because of our level of awareness, change is happening even faster on the outside, which means that we've got to change our view from the inside. We can't change the outside and have a different experience. We have to change our inside in order to have a different experience. So if you're out there and you love doing this, getting together, know that I'm setting up Agape gatherings where we meet doing this, checking in, except it's not me all the time. It's you checking in, talking about what's going on in your mind, connecting with other like-minded people. I'm going to start that Wednesday, January 6th on Zoom. And so for those of you in the Eastern and Central time zone, not Texas, you will be meeting at 6:30 p.m. Central time. Texas will be meeting at 7:30 Central time. And the Pacific and the Mountain time zones, they'll be meeting at 8:30 Central time. If you're interested in being a part of that group, send me an email and I'll put you on the list and send you the Zoom link when we get closer. My email, it's down in the description, and it's rev.lee, L-E-E, at Agape, A-G-A-P-E, CSL.com. Rev.lee at AgapeCSL.com. Hey, love to have you join us. Got nothing to lose. It's free. You get to meet other cool people, talk with other cool people, get to learn what other people are going through. So anyway, I'm grateful that you're here. You made my day, everybody out there. So I'm going to tell you what I say every day. If no one says this to you today, know that I accept you and I love you just the way you are. Create that great day. Aloha.